Hey, it's Jordan with TYT. We're here right after Bernie Sanders won big here, and I'm with Adam Green, who's the head of the Progressive Change campaign. This is Progressive Change tonight. What do you think of his speech, and what do you think of what happened here?
Well, there is a rising economic populist tide across America that Bernie Sanders is absolutely tapping into. I was just remarking, it was pretty amazing to have a credible presidential candidate talking about oligarchy and corporate takeover of our government. If Hillary Clinton is smart, which she is, she will continue trying to sound populist themes, hopefully going bigger on things like campaign finance reform, Wall Street accountability, and expanding Social Security in the future.
Do you think Hillary Clinton's, as she does that, is kind of muddying the water enough to hurt Bernie? With African Americans, Latinos. I spoke with a state representative here saying, Bernie's message you would think would resonate with African Americans. He said Bernie hasn't started talking to them yet.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are just paying attention now. And Iowa and New Hampshire are somewhat of a show for the rest of the nation. And tonight they saw a winner up here. And they're going to start taking his ideas seriously. I don't think that it's a muddying of the waters. I think it's a race to the top. I mean, it was almost unthinkable a year ago that we would have the two candidates both talking about jailing Wall Street bankers who broke the law, breaking up Wall Street banks, passing campaign finance reform, expanding Social Security, and debt-free college, right? That is a symbol that the Elizabeth Warren wing of American politics has won the battle for the soul of the Democratic Party. Now the debate is not about which direction to go, but how big to go and how precisely to get there. And again, if Hillary is smart, she will go even bigger on some of these things and try to compete with Bernie Sanders. One prediction I'll give right here is I think there will be a growing chorus, which will likely eventually include Bernie Sanders, calling on Hillary Clinton to make clear what type of person she would appoint for Treasury Secretary, Attorney General, SEC Chair. The burden of proof is on her, given that she took these Goldman Sachs speaking fees, to go above and beyond to show that she is going to appoint the type of people that are willing to hold Wall Street accountable. And that's why it's really important that she name names and make clear that it's not just going to be another Robert Rubin. We need people like Joseph Stiglitz and Christina Romer, Robert Reich.
The media establishment, as Bernie calls it, say he's got no real path. Now that we're going to a more diverse campaign, Hillary is ahead in South Carolina, a couple other states. How do you think he closes the gap in these states that are more diverse?
I think the path for either of them is really speaking to the things that everyday working people get up and think about every day.
That's a little bit of a talking point.
It's a talking point, but it's so true. And honestly, the reason that Democrats lost in 2014 is the brand did not stand for anything big. Nothing big, nothing inspiring.
And the young people that he's mobilizing didn't come out.
They didn't come out. A lot of working parents didn't come out. People didn't wake up on Election Day in 2014 and say, today, my ability to go to college debt-free or my kid's ability to go to college debt-free is at stake. Nothing big like that was really at stake. It was a lot of small bore messaging, petty stuff. And if they go big, that's how they inspire people. So again, I think that, as you said, a lot of people in Nevada and South Carolina are just starting to pay attention. And if he stays true to this message, I think that that's his path or Clinton's path to victory. And again, what we're hoping for is a continuation of the race to the top, a continuation of both candidates kind of marching towards the North Star that is Elizabeth Warren. One thing about Elizabeth Warren is she picks her fights very carefully. Her timing is impeccable. And so far, she has played her cards exactly right. I mean, she basically has kept 100% credibility with both her base of millions of people and her colleagues in the Senate, while incentivizing both candidates to move to her position. At Netroots Nation last year, she called for all presidential candidates to say that they will support Senator Tammy Baldwin's bill to slow the revolving door between Wall Street and government. Within 2 weeks, Hillary Clinton penned an op-ed with Tammy Baldwin endorsing that bill. Sanders was there as well. There have been really zero instances where what she's asked for hasn't happened. So if it's not broken, don't fix it. Right now, she is helping to drive the Democratic Party in an economic populist direction, which is a winning direction. It's an inspiring direction. My guess is that even among Clinton supporters, there are a lot of people that want to dream and want to think big. And frankly, a lot of the things she's talking about, debt-free college, are really big ideas that we're going to have to fight for. It's not going to, like the Republicans are going to roll over easy. Honestly, I wish that she would stop, asking people not to think big. And I think Sanders should actually improve his messaging a little bit and point out just how relevant executive appointments are. There are powers that were already given by Congress decades ago around trust busting and breaking up big corporate monopolies that just aren't used right now by agencies because they've basically been captured by corporations. Partly campaign finance is an issue here. But Sanders or Clinton have the ability to appoint people that are just going to go in there, do a little trust busting, cut down on corporate political contributions, prosecute Wall Street bankers, have an SEC that bring them to trial, not cut deals with them, and Congress is not needed for any of that. So I hope that Bernie emphasizes that more. I do hope that Clinton actually, again, thinks big and doesn't ask people to dream a little bit smaller, because this is the year to think big.
You think everything she's saying, which is kind of evolved to the Bernie Sanders side of the argument, is authentic? You think she's going to carry through with these things if she becomes president?
That's a great question. I can't vouch for that. What I do know is this. Even if she's not fully there on everything she promises, there will be a very energized progressive movement working to hold her accountable if she wins and if she gets elected with these promises, number one. And number two, we are winning the war within the Democratic Party as we push Hillary Clinton to take these positions. The second that she said this week, after pressure by our group and others, that she would not cut Social Security, said it for the first time ever this week, that had the effect of sidelining Third Way and the DLC and the corporate Democrats who can't wait to cut Social Security, right? When she says we need to jail Wall Street bankers to break the law, once again, nobody was talking about that 4 years ago or 8 years ago right after the collapse. That sidelines a lot of corporate Democrats. It gives license to people running for Senate and House to take the same position. So if we have a unified Democratic Party on these things, even if some people in her camp would like to backtrack a little bit, progressives are in a very good shape if we have that kind of momentum and win a real inspiring mandate.